All right, good evening and welcome to another Shadow Stories. Somewhere off the Mystic Midway, down a dark alley, you find people in a dark corner gathered around a small fire, telling stories of horror and mystery. Tonight we'll be telling a story, part one of a story called Oh, the Unspeakable Things. It starts off on a hospital ship, the Llandovery Castle, bound from Halifax, Nova Scotia, Canada, in the summer of 1918. It is the height of the Great War, and the ship is returning to England. And as the story starts, it is somewhere close to 40 miles or so south of Ireland, heading to England to pick up wounded soldiers. The crew and the medical staff have spent weeks in the open sea on this enormous vessel, and they're approaching. They're approaching England. They should be there in the morning. It is late in the evening. It's about 8 p.m. And one of the things about working on a hospital ship is you work 12-hour shifts. So your shift ended about an hour ago, and the five of you are, finishing up the last of dinner and sitting in the commissary amidships. Outside, the seas are calm. The moon sparkles off the water. It can be easy to forget that outside, and just a day's travel from here, there's a war going on. Let's introduce who is sitting around the table in the commissary. Let's start with the captain.
Yes, my name is Captain Edward A. Sylvester. I'm the captain of the HMHS Llandovery Castle. I have a great crew and also some other medical personnel that are here to assist the wounded as we sail to England to be able to pick them up and bring them back home.
So you're sitting at the table with the head of the medical team, Major Thomas Lyon. And representing one of the other groups of people on the ship, the nursing sisters, Nurse Minnie.
Sorry, thanks. I'm Nurse Minnie Aneth Follett, but folks just call me Nurse Minnie. And I am the most competent medical professional aboard the ship, though no one will recognize that.
Well, it is 1918. Also from the medical staff, Private Archie Taylor.
Oops, sorry there, sir. Didn't see you there. Didn't mean to drop your tray on the floor. Sorry, let me get that for you. Oh, sorry there. Sorry there, sir. Sorry there, sir. I'm looking forward to this voyage being done. Get some Stoli.
Yes, quite. Potts,
Cap-
would you help him to clean up that mess there? Thank you.
Okay.
Which brings us to the last person at the table, Edgar Etheling Potts.
Hi everybody. Did you want some spotted dick? I brought the chef made it for you. I'm Edgar. I'm the second assistant cook, and I'm from Halifax, Nova Scotia, though I was born in Sudbury. Well, here you go, sir. Would you like a little bit of cream on top? All right then, here you go.
Right. So there you are, out on the seas, and as I said, they're calm seas. It's a beautiful night, and as you're moving along. Before we move along further, let's back up and cover a little bit of ground. We're playing a horror game this evening, and sometimes they can get to be a little much, and I can get a little excited about describing things in graphic detail that may go too far. So if I begin to push things into a direction that make anyone uncomfortable, either raise a hand or give a timeout, and we can stop and either discuss or move past that scene as needed. Make sense for it to everybody? All right, fantastic.
It's okay with me here.
All right. Spoke like a medical officer. Yes. So 8 p.m. After at 8, comes to 8:30 after people enjoy some spotted dick, and then being on the sea is one of those things that can catch up with you. You work, it's a long day, and then you eat and you begin to get tired. And so as the crew picks up the crew on duty picks up the last of the dishes, it's time to either head to your quarters or grab a drink or a cup of coffee, and sit out on the deck and enjoy the view. Tomorrow you'll be in England, so this will be the last sunrise you'll get to enjoy while you're at sea.
It's my first voyage, and so I've never been to England. I'd very much like to go out on deck and take a look.
All right, Mr. Potts heads out onto deck.
Well, I'm with a similar feeling, so I'm gonna grab my friend, one of the other nurses, and we'll go and enjoy the view as well. That's Jean Templeman.
Okay.
And well, it is my habit of going out at the sunrise to survey the deck and make sure that everything's in place for the day. That the night shift has done their job, and we are ready to go as we move into a new day.
All right. Archie?
Archie is looking for his friends, privates that he attended boot camp with.
Okay.
Wally King George, and Coop.
Okay.
We're gonna play some cards.
All right. So
We're gonna try
you head out of the mess in the direction of the barracks.
Gonna try and score me some money for shore leave.
Okay. Dr. Lyon?
Oh, well, that would be most welcome, Major.
And Mr. Potts, you're there nearby?
Oh, that's for certain. Where there's skirts, there's pots. But I'm gonna go ahead and try and keep my eyes out there and think about anything else at this time right now, because there's an officer on deck.
Mind your manners, Mr. Potts.
Oh yes, sir, Captain, sir. Yes, sir. Oh yeah, I'll mind my manners. You can guarantee that, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So you exit the mess, and everyone heads to the bow except for Archie, who hangs a right to head aft. And at that moment, the evening is shattered by the sound of an enormous explosion. The boat is rattled. In fact, it suddenly hurls from one side to the other. Everyone, please make a dexterity roll. And you're wanting to get a hard success here, which is half of your dexterity.
Ooh.
Archie is a nimble lad.
Not quite.
Looks like I took it in the face there.
$34.
Yes.
Well, has a 96.
Okay. Sounds like she needs
I need a new lady there.
a lady in distress. Yeah. Yes. Your friend though rolls an 04. So Jean manages to to help you and help herself at the same time. So now you've got one person on each side holding you up, Nurse Minnie.
No, that's just how I like it.
And Captain Sylvester,
34.
how did that go for you?
34.
Is that a hard success?
No, it is not. I needed to get a 25.
Not quite.
No.
Okay. Well, the two able-bodied seafarers fall to the deck and slam up against the center of the center part of the ship, up against the foredeck. Each of you takes 1 point of damage from that impact. So the explosion is such that, like I said, it practically lifts the aft end of the boat out of the water and tilts it to the port side. And then it slams back down into the water and rocks the other way. Everyone's got something at this point that they can grab a hold of, but the boat is listing and tossing back and forth.
Are there any crewmen in the drink?
It's likely, as we're similar to the rest of you. I mean, there were lots of crewmen on their way to bed. Many turned in earlier. Some of them haven't turned in yet. So yes.
I'm gonna try and get myself up. I got a bloody eye, so I'm gonna wipe the blood out of my eye and start looking in the water to see if anybody needs one of these big old hemorrhoid cushions.
All right, you grab a life preserver off of the side and run to the railing, and sure enough, you see several people in the water.
Oh, man overboard! We got a man overboard! Well, you got a lot of talking there, sir. So why don't we just do more grabbing then? We're gonna have to lower that one there for them. Well, there's 2 men.
Okay. It's really difficult to lower a lifeboat down by yourself. They're really long, and typically there's one person on each end with ropes.
If I can tell that,
Yep.
I'll try and give him a hand.
Okay. Yeah. Each of you gets to block and tackle on the end, and I'll need another dexterity roll from the two of you to see how well that goes.
I got a dexterity roll. It did not succeed there. I made under my dexterity, not a hard success though.
Okay, regular success.
Oh yeah, no, I got that. I'm good.
Okay. All right. So Potts begins to lower the aft end of the lifeboat, and the front end slips out of Dr. Lyon's hands, and the nose of it crashes down on the deck. And bits of deck, wooden deck, go flying through the air, and it crushes part of the railing.
Is there a call box nearby where my position is?
You're outside. I mean, the closest call box would be back inside the mess.
Okay, first of all, I'm just going to make sure if there's anybody that's nearby. If they need aid, I will render aid. Otherwise, I'm going to run back and get a status report on the ship.
Okay. All right. Yeah, from where you are, you need to get up to the bridge. You need to run, back toward the back of the boat some, and hit the stairs there to get to the bridge. Okay.
And along the way, of course, if anybody is down and needs help, then I will stop to help them.
Okay. The ship is decidedly listing to the starboard side and downward toward the back of the boat, or back of the ship.
Okay.
Is there anyone in need of immediate medical attention,
There isn't anyone you see who looks badly injured. There's a couple of people who look like they've been scraped, or like Mr. Potts, it's like banged his head and he's got a little bit of blood, but it doesn't look too bad. There are those kinds of surface injuries.
It's Minnie, right? It's Minnie.
Yeah. You need tendon too?
The I'll keep, miss, but if you could help him with that end there, maybe we could salvage his boat, get it in the water. I know it's unheard of, but there's not too many who can help right now.
I'm never above pitching in, so I'll do whatever is required.
Is it possible to salvage the lifeboat and draw it back up so that we can lower it in all at once?
It's possible. It's not broken or badly damaged. So yeah.
Hey.
Yep.
Well,
it'll.
Please, sir. Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So I'll need a dex roll again so the three of you are trying to work on this. So I'll need a dex roll from all three of you. Meanwhile, Private Taylor, what are you up to?
Coop, Ollie, George, grab your bags. We're going down decks. We're going down below. Come on.
Unfortunately, you haven't gotten that far. I mean,
right.
Literally got out of the door, walked a few steps, and then boom.
Okay, the ship is listing.
Yep.
Archie's a medic. He's going to go look for people who need help. He's going to try and go down below decks to the direction of the ship is listing.
I mean, if you're looking for people to help who might be hurt, there are plenty within sight. People, like Mr. Potts and the captain, who took a bit of a tumble. In fact, the captain is running toward you at the moment, and you can see a little trickle of blood running down the side of his cheek.
He's walking wounded. He's okay. I'm looking for the ones who are quiet. I'm trained.
Okay, you're looking for people who are severely hurt. You don't see anyone who looks to be severely injured.
What's going on, Captain?
I'm going to find out. I'm trying to get to the bridge. Please, there might be others that are in need of medical aid.
What can we do?
Mr. Taylor, was it?
Private Taylor.
Probably back that way. Good man.
Okay, so the two of you head for the stairs to get to the upper decks. How do we do with our dex rolls?
Can I push it?
There we go. That's a hard success. Okay, I saw thumbs down from Nurse Minnie there, though.
Yeah.
And I missed it by a couple, but you said earlier that there was no luck spending, right?
Yes, we're
We're
running a gritty game this evening, so no luck spends to get yourself out of trouble.
In the gritty game, is it okay to push my luck?
Absolutely.
By climbing out over there and seeing if I could jam it in there and maybe just hang out a wee bit over the side there.
Yes. So the potential downside, right, for this is if you don't make it, that swing is going to take you out over the water.
All right. Well, nothing ventured, nothing earned. I rolled a 96 there.
Good job.
I'm gonna start looking at these other characters.
Oops.
Okay, so you push on it and attempt to use your body weight to swing it out there, and your grip is not. It's not so much that your grip isn't really as solid as you thought, but all the drills that you've done. Right. Every drill you've ever done is with a ship that's there, that's out in the water, and everyone trained and like, okay, now go and do this. Right. This boat is listing and it's rocking back and forth, and so the boat, the lifeboat itself is swinging back and forth, and so you kind of grab it and it's swinging a little harder than you think it is, and it just carries you out and over the water, and you are falling. Irish Sea is very cold.
Oh.
All right. Splash. Okay. All right. Okay. Nurse Minnie, please make a dodge roll.
Uh-oh. That would be a fail, but not a dramatic fail.
Okay. So a regular failure. So when you go to try and help with the rope, it's the change in the when Dr. Lyon lets his out. You're not quite expecting it when because it really goes, right? And so it zips through your hands, and you get a little bit of rope burn on your hands. I mean, not enough to cause a point of damage or anything, but like enough that it really smarts and you just let go.
Okay.
Which is not part of the training, because you're supposed to lower the boat into the water.
Yes.
And so the boat, the front end of the boat swings down, almost as if it is following Mr. Potts as the front of it swings down above him. Fortunately, Dr. Lyon has a hold of the other rope, but now he has the entire weight of that boat in his hands. Make a strength roll, Dr. Lyon. Okay. All right. You brace against there and hold onto the rope, and you can feel the weight of it swinging back and forth. Yep. Mr. Potts, you hit the water, and you after a moment break surface to see the bow of the lifeboat swinging back and forth, pointing down at you.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and swim along the prow of the boat and try and get out from underneath that lifeboat coming down and splitting my head like a side of beef.
Okay. Make a idea roll, Mr. Potts, which is also an int roll, intelligence roll.
All right, I'm gonna say that this isn't my most successful skill, but I did roll a 17, which is not critical, but it's a hard success.
Well, fortunately for you, this is your first voyage, and that means that all the training that you had to be an able-bodied, sailor is kicking in right now. And one of the things you remember is if your boat is going down, get away from it because it will pull you down.
Oh, that's good. That's smart. That Marine, he told me right. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to swim that way, away from the boat, not along the prow. That was a terrible idea. That must have been, I don't know who came up with that idea.
The brief idea flashed through your head, and then, you hear the sound of that Marine. Swim away from the boat. Swim away from the boat.
Yes, sir. All right, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. And you start to get a little distance away from the boat. Meanwhile, Private Taylor and Captain Sylvester start up the stairs toward the bridge, from the main deck to the secondary deck, and that's when the second explosion occurs.
Oh boy!
And from your vantage point, partway up the stairs, right, you see the aft deck erupt. Like the deck itself is blown into little tiny pieces.
Good Lord!
Parts of the engine, and definitely one section of one of the boilers goes flying out of the gaping hole that was in the aft starboard side of the boat. Each of you make a dex roll. You'll need a hard dex roll to keep from falling backward down the stairs.
Oh boy, here it comes. Oh, yes.
Archie has a 9 out of
23 out of 25. I just made it.
Woo! Nice. Okay,
This time.
Archie, not so lucky.
Archie got a 9 out of 27. He's good.
A 9. Okay, the two of you hold fast.
Ooh, Archie's
One hand
alive.
on the captain. Hand on the wall.
Two of you hold fast onto the railing, onto the stairs.
I have you, Mr. Taylor.
As the ship
I have you,
bumps
Captain.
and swings back. All right, Mr. Lion, you're gonna need another strength roll to hold on to that lifeboat, and you're gonna need a hard success, and I'm gonna give you a penalty die, which means you're rolling 2 d10s dice, and you take the worst of the 2. A hard success. Okay. So the boat swings and it twists, and the force of it pulls the rope through your hands, and the boat and the lifeboat goes careening off of the side and into the water below. Fortunately, not on top of Mr. Potts. Nurse Minnie.
Mm-hmm.
The ship rocks and tosses back and forth after that enormous explosion. What do you do?
I look and see if my friend is okay, the other nurse.
Okay. Great question. Let's see. Ooh, Jean has gone off of the side.
Okay, I am screaming for someone to help her.
Wow.
Okay.
And pointing to where she's at.
Okay. She is. Fortunately, because of where you were, she was near the bow of the lifeboat initially, and then it swung down. So now the lifeboat has fallen and it hit the water, and the bow of the lifeboat is, about 10 yards from her, and you can see Mr. Potts swimming away from the boat. Not terribly far from the lifeboat.
Okay. So she seems to be swimming or in a position that's going to bring her to harm when the boat sinks, when that lifeboat sinks. Is that what's going on?
She's close to the boat, or she's close to the ship.
Okay.
Let's see how she's doing with her swimming.
I will look for a rope to toss to her while I'm shouting.
Okay.
Jean's in the water.
Okay.
Do I hear the lady folks crying?
Oh yeah.
All right. I'll go ahead.
She's shouting, more or less right at you.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and make the tight turn and start swimming back and I'll try and get Jean. Now that lifeboat, is it overturned, or is it going down?
It actually landed. It actually landed so that it's usable. It's functional.
All right. Well, I'm going to try and get Jean into it. All right.
Okay. So you're going to swim over to her. All right. Make a swim roll.
All right. Let me look at the things. That's one of these numbers here.
Right-hand column of the character sheet.
Growing up in Sudbury, sometimes we go and we got 300 lakes near there. I got a success, but not a hard success.
Okay. Well, thankfully it is beautiful, placid water out there.
Just a bit nipply.
Yeah, exactly. So you make your way over to Jean, who's struggling a bit, and of course the first thing she does is grab a hold of you in sheer panic.
Yeah.
Which is going to require another swim roll from you as she's kind of flailing around, and
that didn't go over so well, and I think we're going to go under there.
Oh, okay. The two of you go underwater. So Nurse Minnie from up above, that's what you see.
I'm trying
Potts
to find a rope to throw them.
And goes over there.
Yes.
They're easy to find. There's ropes stacked underneath where the lifeboat was sitting.
Okay.
What's your goal with the rope?
I want to tie it to something stable and throw it down there.
Okay. All right. I mean, the railing. There's plenty of posts for the railings that you can lash it to that and then toss it down there.
Okay, and I'll scream in a complete panic to my friend. Keep calm. Grab the rope.
Okay. All right. Yeah. You look over. Two of them are thrashing around. Thank you, Marcus.
Cheers to you.
All right. Back at the captain and the private. So you guys are on the stairs. It is clear to you, Captain, that really there is only one order to give at this point.
Abandoned ship.
That's the one.
Yeah, I want to get to.
So you're off duty. If you can catch the eye of the second mate who's on duty right now, then he can give that order.
Sure. Yeah. How would I do that?
You could. That's a good question. How are you going to catch his eye?
Do I have line of sight to the bridge from my location? Can they see me?
Yes, just barely. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I suppose I'm going to, if I can, climb up onto the railing, and grab a hold of it and see if I can, get a little higher up so you can see me.
Okay. Yeah,
hoist you up.
Yeah.
Yep. I'll hoist you up, Captain.
Yep. Yeah. Second
Mr.
Officer
Taylor?
Harry Chapman is on duty.
Okay. And let's see, select roll, or how will I do this?
How are you? You're just trying to yell at him?
Yell and wave, through
wave.
Motion and sound. I don't know if he's going to
Okay.
actually hear me, but he might see me though. See movement.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Make a luck roll to see if he glances in your direction as you're.
Okay. Luckily, I have lots of luck left.
As you're waving at him.
So 13 out of 95. I think that's pretty good.
Wow. The captain is very lucky.
I'm lucky today.
Yeah.
Now.
Yes, back to the scene, please.
It's a valid question. Yes. So yes. In fact, you see the second officer, and he glances down at you, and he looks at you very calmly, and salutes.
It's odd.
And then you see him walk over to where the blowhorn is. And then a moment later, you see the top of it, the speaking tube, the top of the speaking tube, go
Right.
flying across the bridge.
Like it was thrown, or?
Yeah, like it was. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's not good. I'm gonna make my way to the bridge.
Okay.
And
All right.
I look at Mr. Taylor. If you wouldn't mind, I could use some assistance.
Are we being shelled, Captain?
Something is amiss up on the bridge, and we must make our way there now.
Are you sure that's a good idea? The ship's blowing up, Captain.
And Private Sylvester or Private Taylor, you can in fact feel the sensation of the boat beginning to actually go under on the aft end.
We should get to the lifeboats, Captain.
Well, I mean, I'm just thinking of like central communications, so I can talk to people in different areas and tell them, whatever you're doing, get off the ship now. I just want to get the call to order because the second officer didn't do it. That's my line of
The
thinking.
ship is broken.
Right. I mean, you would know the fact that he's broken off the speaking tube. It's going to be incredibly difficult to communicate that across the ship.
Okay.
I mean, not impossible, but tough.
All right. So just knowing that, and also radiomen, do they have a radio room on the bridge to
Yes.
call for help?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, because that's the other thing I wanted to do is be able to call for help
Okay.
so that people are aware we're in distress. Because I don't know
Okay.
if this
You
guy's
want
done
to you want to head up the stairs to the bridge? That's the next deck up.
So I just looked to Mr. Taylor. Mr. Taylor, if you would be so inclined, please help those in need on the deck. I need to put out an SOS to the mainland.
Captain, be careful up there.
I will.
Turning around and getting down to the. Deck.
Good luck to you, mister.
It's you, sir.
All right. So Archie, you head down to the main deck. Okay. And you can as you come down there, you can see like Nurse Minnie tossing some rope over the side. She's lashed it to one of the to one of the posts on the railing. And she's looking down. Mr. Potts, give us another swim roll, please.
Well, before I make that swim roll, is there a chance that I can make a wrestle roll to get control of this other person here?
The swim roll will do that.
All right.
A successful swim roll will do that.
That's good. That is in fact a success there. Yes.
Okay.
Sir.
All right. So so you're able to calm her a little bit and get to the point where the two of you are at this moment stable in the water. At which point, a length of rope splashes down in the water about 5 feet away from you.
All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and use that to tell her to grab on.
Okay.
I'm gonna try and lift her up a little bit out of the water so it keeps her head out, and I'm gonna make for the lifeboat, and see if I can't get it over here to get her out of the water here.
Okay. The two of you grab a hold of the rope. Nurse Minnie, you see them both grab a hold of the rope, and then something occurs to you that's happening to them when they do that. The ship is sinking, and as it's sinking, it's sliding backward. So it is actually dragging them along. Now, fortunately, it's dragging them toward the lifeboat. But they're climbing the rope isn't going to help them, because all they're going to do is be pulled down with the boat when it goes. But if they let go of the rope when they're next to the lifeboat, they're going to be in good shape.
I'll yell that to them. Hey, make sure you let go when you're next to the lifeboat. That's your best shot,
Oh, that's smart, eh? Thanks. All right.
And are there life vests or anything like that? Because that's my next thought, is to look for something.
Well, there were a number of life preservers, but but several of them seem to be missing.
Several, but not all?
Yeah, there's one remaining.
One remaining. Okay, I'll take it for myself for right now and put it on.
Okay. All right.
How many?
All right, Dr. Lyon, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Okay. The closest lifeboat to you is the one that's in the water below. At this point, it's about 30 feet. So. Mm-hmm. Okay. You turn around and you look toward the one boat that is forward of your position there, and you see that in the course of the ship swinging back and forth, because it's furthest up, there's the most amount of rocking going on, and the crew there was unable to lower it into the water, and it is swung back and forth and smashed several times into the side of the boat. And there's a gaping hole in the side of it. Okay. Yes. Well, as you glance around, you happen to see that Minnie is standing next to a post, a supportive post for the railing, and she has lashed a rope to that and tossed it off the side.
Respectfully, I'll make my own way. I think it's safer. All right. I'll latch onto his back. Hold on for my life.
Okay. Dr. Lyon, make a climb roll, please.
Well, That's an accomplished fella there.
Yeah. Yes. All right. The two of you make your way down. You're most of the way down to the boat now. Archie, you of course see all of this as you come out onto the deck. You see the two of them go over the side, and Dr. Lyon, begin to descend down the side of the boat as it slides into the drink.
Bollocks. Okay, Archie. Archie is not convinced that that's the right plan of action at this point. He did not sign up for this war. This is too much like a war now. Okay, he's gonna try and walk up the deck, kind of like up the steep slip kind of way to the bit that's sticking up, and climb over the edge. And he's kind of mouthing the words to Humpty Dumpty as he pulls himself up, and he gets over the top of the edge, and he's like, "Had a great fall." And he just pushes himself up into the drink.
Okay, give us a jump roll, please.
That is 13 out of 30.
That's a success.
If it is.
All right. So you, not only do you then leap off, you actually push off a little bit to get away from the boat. Right, get yourself a little bit of distance from the ship when you hit the frigid waters of the Irish Sea. Captain, you make it to the top of the stairs, and you're making your way along toward the bridge. When the door to the bridge opens, and second officer Chapman leans out, levels his pistol at you, and fires.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Chapman, what are you doing, man?
Let's see how that goes.
Yeah.
For the Kaiser!
That is a hit.
Wonderful. Okay.
He's a very good shot.
Apparently. Maybe I should have listened to Mr. Taylor. Very sensible man.
Well, he's a good shot, but apparently that this one just wings you. It does 4 points of damage.
Oh boy. Okay, how far away am I from him?
You're about 10 yards.
Okay, that's too far. If I move back down the stairs, will I be out of view, or will I have some partial cover?
I mean, you'd have to kind of dive down the stairs, because you've already come up and started making your way up toward the bridge. It's possible to get there, but a jump roll would be required to get there.
Okay, jump roll. Let's do it. I'm out of here. Oh, I don't jump very well. Okay, this is going to be risky.
The private did it.
I
Just saying.
use a
Just
drink
saying.
about now. And ooh, that's not good. That's really not good. I got a 98.
Oh, maybe you want to push that there, Captain.
Yeah, I'm pushing it. Yep. See if we can.
So the results of a failed push roll here are going to be that you bounce down all the way down the steps, not just from this deck, but down to the main deck as well.
Okay, so if I go through door number 1 instead of door number 2, which you just said, does door number 1 seem a lot better in comparison?
I mean, if you fail that roll, I mean, it will definitely get you out of being shot, but it's going to bounce you down 2 flights of stairs.
Yeah, which means I could be a lot more damaged too.
Yep. So either way, you won't be he won't be able to shoot at you, because if you make the first one, you'll duck behind the stairs and get out of his range. In the other case, you'll fall down a couple of flights of stairs, making it impossible for him to shoot.
That's a win-win there, Captain.
That's yeah, can hardly go wrong.
Here it goes. I don't have a sidearm on me, do I? At this point, I guess I'm off duty.
Entirely up to you. I mean, as the captain, it wouldn't be unreasonable for you to keep your sidearm on you.
Okay, so I'm not going to push, but I'm going to pull my sidearm. So I'll be briefly out of view.
Okay. Well, you'll be in full view if you just pull your sidearm. Oh, okay. So you're not going to push.
I'm not going to push, but I'm going to jump.
Okay.
Do the original jump, which I failed.
You fail. Okay. All right. So you attempt to jump down the stairs and hit the railing instead. Ugh. Right. Kind of, you feel it dig into your ribs. That gives him another shot at you.
Okay.
Cool. Just checking to see if that's an extreme success, which would be bad because it would do the maximum amount of damage. No, fortunately, not an extreme success, a regular success.
Well, this is going to be my short-lived first character.
We're likely to need another captain.
Could well be. Okay. That does 5 points of damage.
Okay, so I'm down to 3.
I should have stayed with the captain.
That's all right.
Too much guilt.
All right.
I'm gonna ask the nurse I'm with if she heard gunshots. That's weird.
Yes, yeah, you hear a couple of gunshots from up on decks. Okay. That's about the time the two of you come alongside the lifeboat.
Not wanting to countermand the orders of a nurse, I'm going to go ahead and grab onto the nurse I got, and then we're going to let go, and I'm going to try and get her up into the boat.
Okay.
Love the one you're with.
All right. Make a climb roll. Success. All right.
Yeah, I made it there by 1. I'm a good climber. It's a little sloppy, but the work gets done.
Wow. And Jean rolls an 3. So
wow. There you are.
So you struggle in, but she curls over the railing, just like you see in the training exercises.
Hey there, Jean, can you give me a hand there? I need a little help.
Yeah. Minnie, you're looking down, holding onto Dr. Lane. You can see that the two of them get into the boat. Jean with some flair and Mr. Potts with some flail, and the two of you are pretty close to the lifeboat. In fact, you're at that point where you're starting to slide past it. But the ship is starting to slide past it. Or at least where you are is sliding past it. You're muted. You're muted, Nurse Minnie.
Sorry. Yeah, it's time.
Okay.
I think light thoughts.
All right. Make a jump roll, Dr. Lion. Yeah. I'll give you a bonus die for the light thoughts of Nurse Minnie.
Okay. That's some man there.
All right. So you land in the boat in such a way that you land and lean backward, allowing Minnie to sit on the covered part of the lifeboat where all the supplies and everything are. So you just sort of comfortably sit her down on the back half of the lifeboat.
Well done, Major.
Indeed. Okay. Archie, you have hit the water nearby. And as you break surface, you see this the two of them, Dr. Lyon and Nurse Minnie, like land in the boat about 20 feet away.
Those are my people. The Doc Lyons is an officer. Officers get the best deal. I'm swimming like crazy to be wherever Doc Lyons is.
Hey, Major, can you grab that other oar there, and maybe we can get away from her, because she might take us down with us if we're too close. Yeah, sure. Did you hear shooting? I think I heard shooting. Oh, what's that? Is that I mean, I know French, but it's... Oh, right, okay.
Maybe there's traitors.
Oh, yeah.
You think it's the Kaiser then, huh? Oh, I don't know. That the Irish have been. I read stories that sometimes they're not so happy with the crown and stuff.
Oh.
Archie, how's that swim roll?
Let's see. It's very, very frantic at this point. 7 out of something. That's good. 7 out of 40. There we go. Right.
Okay. Yes. So that repartee is interrupted by Archie pulling himself up and over the gunwale and rolling into the boat, the lifeboat in front of the two of you.
Evening.
He's in there. He's splashing around at your feet at the moment.
Oh, it's bloody cold.
All right.
We just got torpedoed.
I thought it was a French saboteur.
Is that what it was? Wait, aren't we fighting with the French?
Did you hear shooting? I think I heard shooting.
There was
I didn't hear
definitely
anything.
a shot.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Who?
Oh yeah. There are a number of people in the water around you. You can hear people calling out for help. You can see bits of floating and burning debris all around. You see way off in the distance another lifeboat with some people in it near where the boat is going down, and they are paddling frantically to get away from the area where the boat is sinking. And so you can see them, just as you are, pulling on the oars. They're a little more frantic than you are, because they're really, really fighting the downdraft of the boat going down. Meet.
I'm gonna tap Potts on the shoulder because you're dressed in a Navy uniform, right?
I'm actually in a cook's uniform.
Okay.
But yeah.
You're rowing. You're a sailor. Hey, mate. How many people can this boat take?
14, I think. 14. It's 14. Yeah.
14. Captain, The second
Yes.
mate takes another beat on you. What do you do?
I want to shoot him.
Okay.
Now, if I do that, I notice that I have a rating for 1 shot and then 3. What happens if I make multiple shots?
Each shot gets progressively more difficult.
Okay. But the first one will be normal?
Yes.
All right, well.
Progressively more difficult, but also progressively more cool.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. I'm going to try and take 3 shots.
Yeah, so the first shot is regular success, then you have to make a hard success, then you have to make an extreme success.
Wow. Okay. I'll try it anyway. Maybe I'll get lucky. First one is 18 out of 62. So that definitely hits.
18 out of 62. Let's see here.
So that's both not a 12, but it's high. It's lower than a 31.
Okay, so it's a
hard success.
Okay, so it's a hard success. Regular damage. Roll your damage, please.
Okay, so rolling damage. 3 points of damage.
Okay. Ouch.
Next one needs to be a hard success. You're saying?
Yes.
Second one is a miss. And third one needs to be a
extreme success.
Good luck with that one. Okay, let's see. No, it misses. So I hit him once. All right, well,
Okay.
rolled the dice, didn't make it.
Right, his turn. Ooh, that is terrible. That's a 95. All right.
It's gun jams.
Ping. That one pings off of the deck next to you.
Okay,
You're shooting
and
aboard the ship?
can I get out of here? Is there a chance I can run? I want to run.
Okay. Yeah, you're at the top of the stairs. So a couple of options here. You could try and run further back, right? But you're going to be like basically directly in line with him. Or you can try that cool captain thing where you slide down the railing with your hands on either rail.
Do it. Yeah, I'm going to slide down the rail.
Okay. All right. Let's.
So it's pretty steep then. This stairway.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It's more a ladder than a stair. I mean, there's a bit of an angle to it, but yeah, it's very steep.
Okay.
Right. Give us a dexterity roll, please.
Dexterity roll. Okay, copy that. Here's dexterity roll.
Unless you have a special skill that lets you.
Well, let me look. No, that's climb. Sailboat rigging. That's more craft. Tactic sailing.
I'll let you use fighting brawl if you like.
Fighting brawl. Okay.
Yeah,
let's do that.
Sort of a brawler's kind of move to, use the environment around you.
Okay, so I'm going to use fighting brawl. That's pretty decent. 20 out of 60. So that's not a extreme success, but a hard success.
All right. So you slide down to the secondary deck, and as the ship's going, as you land, you realize that because of the way the ship is sinking, you could turn that into a spring jump and get completely off the side of the boat.
Will I be able to clear the side?
Exactly.
I'm going to do it
because the boat is sinking in that direction. It's listing off to the starboard side that you're on, so you have the right angle to be able to clear it. That'll take a jump roll.
Take a jump roll. Okay, copy that. Jump roll. Where do we got this? Here it is. Oh, please get this. No. Jump roll didn't work so well.
Okay. Do you want to push that?
I'm going to push it.
Okay.
What do I have to lose? I'm going to answer that.
You're going to hit the side there. And it's
Yeah.
knock you
Exactly.
unconscious and drown you.
No. I can use my other dice because that, yeah, I failed that.
Okay. All right. So you go to make that leap, and everything is in motion. And there's water coming up. Your ship is going down, and you catch just the very edge of the top railing, and it flips you over. So you succeed in getting off of the boat, but it knocks you unconscious.
Did you see that? He's falling. Oh, he's going straight.
And he lands smack on his back, about 10 feet away from the lifeboat. Water sprays everywhere.
Archie, get him.
I'll do it, nurse.
You're muted.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
muted.
Wouldn't a rope work better? I'll look for a rope to throw.
Either one, it doesn't matter.
Any of those things would work if he was conscious to use them himself, but he's not.
Okay, I'll dive in.
Okay.
Unconscious here.
Make. All right. You go over the side.
Can we afford to slow our pace away from the boat just a little bit to give him some time?
Up to you.
Yeah. Well, I think I'll look over to Major Thomas and try and slow our roll so that we can buy them some time.
All right, Archie, make a luck roll to see if you hear that instruction before you leap over the side.
Fine. This is fine.
Take a flying leap.
Yeah, I'm in. That's a 23 out of 60.
Terrific. All right, so you grab the rope and leap over the side. Give us a swim roll, please, and see how quickly you get over to the captain.
17 out of 20.
Woo!
Sorry, 40. 17 out of 40.
Okay. You get over there easily and wrap some of the rope around him and get his head up out of the water as you were trained to do in camp. And Minnie, you're the only person not manning an oar at the moment. You're in a position to help pull on the rope and haul them in if you like. Nurse Minnie, did you hear me?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not sure why everyone keeps expecting me to haul on ropes and things, but you'd think that one of these big guys around here would want to do that. So I'll ask for some help because it didn't work out very well last time.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, I learned long ago to listen to the nurse, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull my oar up and then grab on that rope and do as she says. And I'll pull on it, and then the blood gets in my eye, and I'm gonna have to do it blind.
All right, you do it. All right,
I got
Dr.
it.
Line, you get to the middle and grab both oars,
At 4.
Wow.
or at least keep his from going over the side.
I brought it in. I didn't take it out. I brought it in.
Okay. All right, so he brought it in. You put it back out, and and maneuver the boat. Between all of you working on that, you manage to wrestle the captain into the boat. He is in sorry shape. He's been shot. He's taken a good fall.
What do I do now? Oh, right. Nurse, he's not gonna make it.
Um,
Hey, Archie, grab that other one, huh?
I have experience with these kinds of wounds. I'll take care of it. Could use some light.
I'll help. Do you need anything, Doc, nurse?
Towels,
Towels?
blankets.
You
Improvise.
have a lot of things. This is a fully equipped lifeboat. So you have blankets, you have towels. The covered part of the boat that you set Minnie on.
Nice.
Well, first of all, it converts to a sail, so that's really nice. But underneath it is a fully stocked, like there's 14 days worth of food there.
Wow.
There's supplies.
I'm gonna clumsily and basically unhelpfully help Potts try and row the boat. I mean, this is.
All right. Okay, let's just on 3. All right, 1, 2, and 3. There. Okay, good. No. You're gonna pull
There's a
it.
sail here too.
We're gonna pull. We're both gonna pull at the same time. Otherwise,
Okay.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. So Jean steps over to where Mr. Potts and Private Taylor are, and she says, "Why don't I do the counting?"
Oh, thank you so much. There.
Okay. Pull on
Thank
3.
you,
1,
man.
2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
How many times do we have to do this?
2, 3. Jean just raises an eyebrow when Dr. Lyon says that.
Can you point the torch out there to the water there, and maybe just a little out there?
Okay. You
busy.
begin to you pull away from the ship, and you're getting a good amount of distance, and more than half of it is already slid underneath the sea, and the all the lights are out, and around you some of the burning wreckage has stopped burning. There's still people in the water that you can hear crying out for help. The other lifeboat that was at the far end has managed to pull far enough away from the boat as it's slipping under the water to be safe. They already look exhausted. They're you see them switch who's rowing, and they're trying. They're clearly not very good at this, but they fumble around trying to maneuver the boat in your direction.
Do I know, or can I tell which way is north?
You were heading. Yes, you can. The moon is out. It's about 3/4 moon. Plus, you know that you were heading east, due east. So,
Okay, so I'm
easy
gonna
to tell which direction is north.
I'm gonna get her pointed north.
Okay.
Because that's the closest land that I know. And then I'm 40 miles of rowing. Doesn't sound fun. So maybe we can pick up some of these lazy bones in the water here to help us with the rowing.
Okay.
And we'll get her done.
All right. So you start to come around because you're facing the other direction. So you start to come around to to turn north, and that swing, just the circle of the swing is going to take you closer to the boat that's trying to make its way toward you. Okay.
There's strength in numbers.
Yep. All right. Let's have a first aid check from whoever's taking the lead on helping out the captain.
Okay. Coming right up.
Yes, with the assist, we'll get a bonus die.
Bonus die. Okay.
Right. So you're rolling 2d10 and take the better of the two end results. So two of the 10s places die.
I got you. So I got a 39 out of 90.
Wow. Okay. All right. 1 second.
Who do you like the most?
All right. First aid. A successful first aid will give you 1 point back, Captain.
I'll take it.
Okay. And it's also enough to make you painfully aware of your surroundings and return to consciousness.
Where am I?
Yeah, there's a light bobbing around you. You're soaking wet. You hurt everywhere.
I will
Chapman.
make sure he's well bandaged so it's not going to come off easily.
Where's Mr. Chapman?
Yeah. Both of his wounds are well bandaged. Even considering that he's wet with that roll work, he's good.
The ship. Oh no.
And as you look out, that's almost entirely true. The bow is just about to disappear beneath the waves. You can see on the far side of the ship now, and you can see 2 other lifeboats on the far side of the ship, with a handful of people in each of them. It's dark, it's dim, but you can see the silhouettes of people there.
Probably safer to be with the others, right?
Hey, Archie.
What is it, Potts?
Do you see? Oh, you're rolling with me. Hold on. Is there? Hey, Minnie. Do you see any flares under the captain's blood there, or anything to signal?
Gene, look for flares while I continue working on the captain.
Oh,
Right.
I didn't realize.
And she looks at Potts and Taylor. You have this?
Yeah, I think Archie's on it. I thank you so much for your help there.
Okay, she ducks past you and under the cover, and you can hear her rooting around in there for flares.
Treason. Mr. Chapman. He shot me. The second officer. I don't know. He destroyed the speaking horn. Oh,
What about the ship, Captain?
Thank you, my good man.
Were we torpedoed, Captain?
I don't know. Most likely. Torpedoed, maybe, by U-boat.
And at that moment, Jean comes out from underneath the cover on the back of the ship. Nurse Minnie and Dr. Lyon are gathered around the captain, assessing his condition, and of course, Private Taylor and Mr. Potts have their back to the bow. So she comes out and she looks past the 2 men rowing the boat, and she points and screams. Okay. She's pointing at the other lifeboat, and from underneath the lifeboat, you see that the sea has begun to boil and churn and rise up.
Don't think that's good.
That's the direction we're going, though, right?
It is. You're heading right toward it.
So we're gonna stop doing that.
What gives?
Okay.
How do we stop one of these things?
Just okay. You keep doing exactly what you're doing, and I'll go ahead and I'll reverse what I'm doing, and that'll take us the other way.
Okay. Okay. The water churns, and the boat rocks back and forth, and you barely in the distance now hear the surprised shouts of the people in the other lifeboat, and the bow raises up and it rocks, and you see them all holding on to one side, and then a dark black vertical mound of steel rises out of the boat and obscures them, or rises out of the sea rather, and obscures them behind it. And you recognize the conning tower of a U-boat as it breaks the surface.
Turn the light off! Turn the light off!
And it is heading directly toward you.
Oh boy.
Bloody hell. It's Jerry's.
Wait, it's coming. It's
Get
coming
us out of
at
here.
us.
Yes.
I'm in the Jerry's.
Directly toward you.
So, I don't know if this will help, Matt, just, because maybe I have line of sight. I have tactic sailing. Could that help them to come up with a way to get out of the way?
Sure. You can shout some quick instructions to the oarsmen and have them maneuver. There's a light breeze. It's going to take 15, 20 minutes or so to raise the sail. The U-boat will be here in 2.
Maybe we should get a white flag and surrender.
I
We're a
got
hospital ship, not a warship.
13 out of 40, so hard success. Hard success.
Hard success. Okay. All right. You call out instructions, and Mr. Potts was already on this, and you're able to direct his energy a little more specifically to moving out of the path of the oncoming U-boat. It breaks surface. The entire U-boat breaks surface less than 100 yards away, and while it's closing in on you very quickly, you see it begin to slow, and you hear the churning of the propellers in the water, and you can even hear the sound of the engines revving higher, even though the U-boat itself is slowing.
I will motion to Jean and tell her to get down, so we get very low in the boat and we're back over by the supplies. And I'm actually going to start stashing the most valuable things, like if there's any antibiotics or painkillers, bandages, the things that'll be the most useful. And I'm going to start stashing them everywhere available in my nurse's uniform.
Okay, on your person.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yep. There's a gun on the top of the conning tower. Yeah, like a 50 caliber machine gun.
Oh, jeez.
At this point, about 50 yards.
Sorry?
And the U-boat slows a little bit more, and then the top hatch on the conning tower opens.
I follow the
Terrified.
captain's instructions there, though at this point, I'm gonna say a few prayers.
Okay.
Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy will be done
Major,
on
you'll
earth
get us
as
all
it is in
killed.
heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us
You
our
really
trespasses.
think you can fight them off?
As we forgive those who trespass against us.
99.
Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. Amen. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come.
How lucid is the captain?
At which point,
sorry, go ahead.
everyone is surprised when somebody leaps out of the water and into the boat. They grab a hold of the bow and pull themselves up and haul themselves over the front of the lifeboat.
Great Scott.
I'm sorry, is Major Thomas still in our boat?
Yes. Yep.
Well, who's that then?
You see him kind of roll over and he sits up, and it's Private Pilot. He is he's one of a group of sailor or of medics known as the Privates, who all went to who all went through basic training together and somehow all got assigned to this boat at the same time. Private Taylor, Archie there, is also one of the privates.
Mate, get in here. I'm trying to grab Pilot.
Okay. Well, he's in there. He's hauled himself up over the bow of the boat.
Stay down. Quiet. Yes, Doc.
Okay. So 3 men come out. One of them goes immediately to the big gun. Okay.
There you go. Settle that.
Cover my ears.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, sure. Yes, absolutely.
Oops.
Okay. Roll damage on that first one.
Hey, Archie. How far can those machine guns shoot?
Oh, I don't know. They look pretty nasty to me. I don't want them pointing at me.
Ouch. Okay. All right. All right. He crumples to one knee, and the second man up goes over to the gun, and the third person out, who's only about half out, yells at you in English. With a bit of a German accent, but pretty good English, and he yells, "Come alongside!"
No.
That would be no.
I'm gonna keep pulling away from you. You're a bad man.
Okay.
I'm not rowing. I got my gun out, so we're going in circles.
All right. Pilot, get on the oar. Captain, someone on the other oar. Let's get out of
Yeah,
here.
private pilot scrambles over there and grabs the other oar because he's out of the frying pan and into the fire. And he grabs that other oar and looks across at Potts.
How far can they shoot? Okay, how fast can I row? I got a butcher's knife.
and the man half out of the hatch says, who am I speaking with? Major Lyon, where are the American flying officers that were on your boat? Point of fact, says the GM, point of fact, you're a hospital boat. You don't carry any military personnel. So American flying officers would not be on your boat.
Major, I don't want to speak out of turn or nothing, but they definitely have the higher ground.
He kind of holds up a finger and points at the guy who's gotten over to the 50. And that guy like slams a magazine into the side of the 50 and pulls the bolt back. And the man in the hatchway says, I ask you again, where are the 6 American flying officers?
He's out of his mind.
Hey, we got none of those guys on the boat there. We don't have none of them guys. We got the wrong boat. We were a hospital boat. We were headed over to, pick up some bandages or something. This is all screwy. You got us the wrong boat. You torpedoed we were just, you guys have messed it up now.
You see from the guy who's partway out of the hole, you see him make a motion, and then there's a glint of light in front of his face. Anyone who's interested in figuring out what the glint of light is can make a spot hidden roll.
Yes, please.
I'll do that.
Got a hard success there. I don't know that
Hard success. Okay.
Hard success.
What's that, Captain Sylvester?
Hard success.
Okay.
Archie succeeded.
All right. So Potts and Captain Sylvester, you see that he's pulled out a looking glass.
Oh, okay. Oh, that all. It's a looking glass.
And he says, Capitan.
Yes.
Why?
I try to speak as loud as I can. I'm not very strong.
What is it you want?
Where are these 6 American flying officers? Please point us at the boat where the officers survive.
I'm sorry, sir, but we're a medical frigate. We're not a military craft, and I have no knowledge of the movements of the Americans.
And he lowers the spyglass and he snaps it closed. And when he does, there's a shot from the 50 caliber.
Oh, jeez. Wow.
I'm gonna jump on top of Minnie.
Okay. Minnie, you want to make a dodge roll to see if you can make a dodge roll if you want to avoid being jumped on top of, if you like.
No, that's okay. I'll take a shield.
Okay.
All right. Shield.
All right. The shot goes wide, splashes in the water nearby. And there's a loud retort, and a fountain of water erupts off the bow of the lifeboat.
Archie would like to take a pistol shot at this.
Have you lost your mind?
Maniac.
Archie, you're gonna take a pistol shot at him?
Yeah,
Okay.
they're shooting at us.
While we are out of view, I'm sure
Go for
that the guy in the hatch can hear us scream when the shot goes off.
Six.
It's lead.
Archie?
44 out of 70.
Okay, that's a good solid hit. Roll some damage, please.
Shoot to kill.
My weapon here says 1d10 plus 1d4 plus 2. Are those all the dice I need to roll?
Oh, do it. Is
Nothing?
it a hand cannon?
Nothing. Just a thing. It's fine.
That's nothing.
12 points of damage.
How many?
12 points of damage.
Okay. You, as I set my NPC sheet aside here,
Smitty.
you see him rock back and rock forward and then disappear down the hatch. Not in a casual I'm ducking down sort of way. In a he just fell down the hatch.
He's committed to that course of action.
It's a 44 Magnum revolver, a man's gun.
Yeah, he has been committed. You committed him to that action. He disappears from sight. The person that Dr. Lyon hit earlier scrambles down the hatch, which leaves only the guy on the 50.
Uh-oh.
Who repositions and takes a shot.
Oh my goodness.
Wow. He is not very good at this.
Thank goodness.
97. A splash goes off in the water. And it's yes. Okay.
There he goes.
That's how we captured a submarine.
We got ourselves a boat.
Okay. And your gun is empty.
Wow.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he looks to the side to get to reposition and he needs to make a Constitution roll to remain conscious that he does not make, and he slumps over the railing.
Hey Archie, where are you from?
Oh, all over.
Are you mad? Let's get out while we can. I mean, yes, sir.
There's more of those men.
And you see the hatch. Somebody reaches up and pulls the hatch closed.
All right.
And you hear this. You hear the sounds of the U-boat engine revving.
I'll
and it
get up.
begins to slowly move forward.
And try and
You should row now, right?
Get out of the
Boss.
way.
We're rowing, right?
Yeah, I go back. Yeah, but
Row.
yeah. So where'd you grow up?
Well, I did spend some time in Halifax.
Never better. Can I try and make a tactics roll again? I have piloting
Sure.
and tactics sailing.
Yep.
Which one?
Tactics sailing.
Tactics sailing. Okay, copy.
Can I make a language own roll?
No, I didn't make it this time.
Okay.
Can I make a language own roll to see if Private Archie Taylor there is speaking with an appropriate Canadian accent for someone from Halifax?
Halifax.
What are you talking about, eh?
Or
Sorry
does
to
he-
all.
Does he have more of one of those
Sorry.
Iowa
Best job,
accents?
Okay, so you guys heave ho on the oars, and pull away from the U-boat as it begins to descend, and as it descends and the sea collapses in around it, and the wave from the U-boat descending like rocks your lifeboat up and down on the turbulent waters. I think this is a good point to take a little break.
Yeah.
Matt, thank you.
Oh, nice.
Thank you so much, Matt. This is just a delight.
Beautiful.
10 minutes.
Awesome. Thank you.
See you soon.
In 10.
And I'm back.
They're out there?
Back, Mr. Potts.
Thank you for...
Happy to be here.
Our little town is awesome. My name's Aaron Texera. I don't have much to plug. I like to play games at Gamescape on Divisadero in San Francisco, California.
Oh yeah, I used to live close to there. It's a great place. Boom. Wow.
Wow. Fantastic, considering how Gamesters can come and go. 35 years is a solid run.
It really is.
Yeah, it's a great location there. We are back. Okay. So the lifeboat rocks back and forth and begins to settle into the sea, and you can see at this point that that the other lifeboats have moved a fair distance away from you. There are you can see perhaps floating out in the water bodies, perhaps a couple of people far in the distance still thrashing around in the water. Some calls for help come across the waves. The boat that, or the other lifeboat that you were heading toward a moment ago, you can see capsized 150 yards or so away, and the passengers in that boat in the water paddling around. Some of them attempting to climb onto the back of the boat to get out of the frigid waters of the Irish Sea.
How many? How many?
You can definitely see two people scrambling up the side, or attempting to scramble up the side. It's wet. They're already exhausted from having to row away from the ship as it went down. But they're clinging to the side desperately.
Captain, should we make our way over there?
Yes, render aid.
All right.
Mr. Potts.
So we'll start rowing over that way, and see if we can get him out of the cold there.
Okay, you heave to in that direction to begin making your way. Minnie, Jean comes over and sits next to you, and kind of barely remembering what she was doing earlier, like holds out the flare.
I take it. Oh, that's a good find. That could come in handy. They should know that we're supposed to be there in a day, so another 2 days at most we have to survive here if we can. And I look around for that U-boat.
Okay.
I bristle a little bit.
Yeah, it's going to leave a mark, but I am most grateful for your assistance and Miss Minnie's as well. Most kind.
Oh. Thank you.
Hey.
Jean gives another raised eyebrow, like, of course.
Maybe we should hold off on that flare, huh? With that U-boat around, we shouldn't be drawing attention to ourselves.
All right.
All right, so you guys start to make good time over toward the capsized lifeboat, and Nurse Minnie, you're glancing around trying to see if you can spot the U-boat, and in fact you do see off to your right the churning waters of the conning tower beginning to come back toward the surface. And then you notice something a little closer to home, as it were.
Okay, I will point that out to everyone, though.
Okay.
Go ahead.
The water just off of the side of your lifeboat begins to churn and boil.
Roll fast, or there's something right near us.
Oh my God!
Can I sync up with Archie there and double our time and get us out of here?
I'm going to try and do a tactics roll again.
And are there more oars?
Everyone make a sanity roll as you see that the U-boat is closing in on you, and perhaps there is another one rising up directly beneath you, which capsized the other boat and cast them back into the sea.
Okay, sanity roll.
And no.
Yeah, that's a no. Oh, that's a 99, by the way.
Okay. All right, Captain, that's 2 points of sanity loss for you. Archie,
Wow.
1 point.
I'll look for the captain.
All right. Dr. Lion holds fast. Mr. Potts. Nurse Minnie, how about you?
Fail.
Okay. That is 1 point for you. Where did I put Jean?
Good Lord. Damn, Hans, give me a start.
Jean holds herself together. And Private Pilot. Wow, Private Pilot rolls an 01. He is a rock.
Oh, wow. Not even phased.
No. Yes, so he and Gene both go over and push. Well, not push. Invite Private Taylor and Mr. Potts to slide so that they can also heave to on the oars. So with four of you rowing, like, you know, you pretty quickly start to pick up some speed. And yet all around you now, the sea is churning and tiny spouts of water begin springing up all around you.
I will cling to Jean in terror.
Okay. She's trying to help row. Even so, she puts an arm around you and pulls with one arm.
Okay.
And you feel the ocean around you swell, and your boat begins to rise, and you rise up. And as the conning tower, about 75 yards away, breaks the surface, it's very clear that the ship, that U-boat is not causing the waters beneath you to roil. And you rise up higher and higher and higher, as a spout of water begins to rise underneath your boat, and water is cast in all directions. Spray begins to obscure everything around you, and the U-boat appears to be further and further and further away from you, down below in the sea, looking smaller and tinier and increasingly less significant. Mr. Potts.
We were headed towards another couple of folks there.
Yeah.
Do we see what happens with them?
After the water begins to spray up, you lose sight of everything around you.
Oops.
All right. You remember the praying part? I'm gonna go on back to that there. Right?
Yep, that's what I'm thinking.
Okay. Yeah.
I assist.
Gene jumps right in on that action, and yeah, and you all know that she has a terrific singing voice. So
Nice.
her prayer comes out as a yeah.
Are they cumulative there? Because that's good. All right. Oh,
All right. Ooh, from Mr. Potts. Thank you, Marcus.
Praise the wub.
Well, the boat rocks around, and you feel like you're being tossed around by giant hands in the sky. Mist obscures everything around you. The sounds of the sea fade away as the roaring of the water pushes your boat higher and higher and higher into the sky. The moon illuminates the mist all around you in this silvery dew. And suddenly, you are falling. The lifeboat falls out from underneath you, and you are spinning down through the mist. Everyone make a jump roll.
Oh boy, here we go.
You will need a success to keep from getting injured while you're landing.
No.
18 out of 30.
On one, okay.
Yeah, not so lucky.
Archie. So lucky. Ooh. Archie, 6 points of damage. That hurts a lot. Yikes. Fact, that is a major wound. Oh, it's got to be greater or equal. Not quite a major wound. All right, and Captain?
I failed.
Okay. Do you want to push this one?
I only have 4 points left. I don't have any.
You should use your reroll there.
Yes.
Hey,
Marcus
there's
just
an
gave you a
opportunity.
reroll.
Yeah.
Using the reroll. Here we go. Thank you. Huzzah to the generous tipper. 0-4.
Okay.
0-4 out of 33.
Well spent. Okay. Mr. Potts, how was your jump roll there?
So I got a jump skill of 25, and I got 25 on the dice here, so I'm pretty sure that the tie goes to me.
It does. Nurse
I
Minnie,
got
how
an
about
extreme
you?
success.
Oh, I had an 18 out of 30.
Oh, that's right. You called first. Okay. Oddly, you come crashing through branches.
I'm sorry, say again?
You come crashing through branches, tree branches. Mr. Potts, you grab a hold of one and manage to actually keep from hitting the ground, as does Dr. Lyon. The captain, that was an extreme success, Captain?
It was.
Yeah. So you grab a hold of some. Nurse Minnie, was that?
A regular success.
That was a regular success. Okay. So you don't manage to hold onto a tree branch as you come through, but they break your fall as you're flying.
Mm-hmm.
You hit the ground. But not so lucky with for Private Taylor, who crashes down through the trees and branches fall with him. And when he hits the ground, something very painfully pierces up through his thigh.
How'd Genie and Pilot do?
Great question.
Taylor, are you all right, man?
I think I've fallen on something, and something's in me. Ow!
Jean is a rock star and manages to grab a hold of the trees on the way. Well, she not that good. She manages to have the trees break her fall. Private Pilot, not so much. Apparently, paratrooping is not. The privates didn't get that lesson. He takes some damage coming down.
One moment, Mr. Taylor.
Oh, thanks.
He gets knocked about pretty good.
And the boat?
Okay. Well, so when everything settles, branches, finish falling to the ground. There are several people lying on the ground. You look around, and you are in you're in some thick trees, and the boat has been hung up in some of the big branches up in the trees, and it's swinging back and forth up there. Mr. Potts giving you a view that you're familiar with of the lifeboat swinging overhead menacingly with the bow pointed down toward you.
I'm gonna try and climb to her.
Okay.
Let's make sure we're all clear from underneath it.
Okay. So the two of you are going to climb up to the boat. Okay. All right.
I will try to find Mr. Taylor.
Okay.
On it.
Oh, ow, ow. I should stop moving. It hurts.
Try to assist with Mr. Taylor.
We're gonna need a
Okay.
fire.
You're not going to set me on fire.
No,
My-
love.
My climb roll wasn't very good there, so I'm gonna go ahead and use one of those re-rolls that I've got because I don't want to fall. Unfortunately, my secondary climb roll is 3 off. I don't think I
Okay.
did it.
I mean, that's fine. I mean, you're picking your way carefully through the trees. The two of you. Okay, the two of you climb up there, and the failures mean that you get safely to the boat. You're trying to get into where the supplies and things are, but you're not able to get there. You're not able to get purchase on anything that lets you climb up in there. So you're there, but you're just not able to work your way up to the point where you can, access any of the supplies.
And is it clear down there, down below?
Let's ask the people on the ground.
Yeah, we're making sure everybody's out of the way or
Okay.
going up to them.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Load falling on us.
I don't.
All right.
I don't have
Yeah.
I don't have a way to save the boat, Captain. We need the food and stuff. So, you want me to go ahead and cut her loose? She'll break apart on the ground.
No, that's fine.
All right.
Let it drop.
You were a good. All right. I'm gonna take out a butcher's knife and cut her free.
Okay. You start hacking at some of the branches and to get the boat to fall.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Each of you make a dexterity roll up there. Let's see how this goes.
Got me a 19 there.
All right. Okay. Well, you kick at it as it breaks free, and just miss it as it goes whizzing past. As Mr. Potts cuts the right branch and it comes crashing down through the trees, making a terrible racket.
Thank you, Major. I make sure to cry out.
It hits the ground and breaks into 100 pieces, and supplies and bits of wood go scattering all over the place. And some of them landing dangerously near the people on the ground, but okay. And all right, the two of you are going to make your way down.
Well, I was thinking of making a home up here, but you make a
Okay.
good point.
Well, there's lots of wood. I mean, I'm sure you could fashion a nest of some sort.
I obviously I can fly because I got here somehow. So I'll stretch out my wings and regurgitate some food for my young. But no, I'll go go ahead and climb down.
We'll be needing
All
a
right.
fire, eh?
Start
All right.
working your way. You're working your way down. All right. What's going on with the people on the ground?
So is he impaled? Does it look like there's an artery is involved?
An artery is not involved. So he landed very awkwardly on a broken branch, which is sticking up through his thigh.
I'm gonna gather supplies from the fallen boat.
No,
See if I can-
don't cut it off. Don't cut it off.
I'm not gonna cut your leg off, you fool. Here, bite on this, and I give him a smaller branch to bite on.
No, you're gonna cut it off.
War is hell.
I don't want to be in a war.
I will.
Gene steps over and leans over Private Taylor and says, "Really, really."
Do you
How
bite
about
down
you-
on the wood?
How about you and me get a drink after this, Gene?
Smashing.
Gene.
Smashing. Bite down now.
Okay.
I stick the wood in your mouth.
This is trying to shut me out.
Okay, we will extract the branch from him and try to get him sewn up in time. I think that wound needs to be cauterized. So
Oh, no. You don't need to do that. Just a
yeah, I
bandage.
think we need a fire, eh? We'll
try to
probably
find
all
fire
need to
making
dry
tools.
off too before we get sick. Who knows what kind of diseases they have in this place? And then I yank the branch out.
It's England. How bad can it be?
Is it now?
How bad can it be?
Okay, and yank.
Oh!
You want a first aid roll?
Please.
All right. And a 49 out of 90.
Ooh, nice.
All right. That gives you 1 hit point back.
I look for fire making supplies.
Okay. There are branches all around.
Well, something to start a fire, I mean. From
From the boat supplies. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You can find supplies in the boat to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, Archie may have noticed I was pulling medical supplies right out of my uniform.
Yeah.
It's pretty handy.
Yes, there's Private Taylor is lying in about foot deep grass. It's waving slightly in a light breeze. The branches up ahead also are above, creak slightly in the wind. But other than that sound, you realize you hear no other sounds of life. And yeah, make a sanity roll for this transition to.
Can we hear the ocean?
Place. Make a listen roll after your sanity roll.
Stand first.
Major. Major. Oh boy. Hey, Major.
Major, get a hold of yourself.
That is 6 points, Dr. Lion.
Oh, that's gonna leave a mark.
Yeah.
All right.
It is.
All right. I'm close to him, so if he swings out, let me know.
Okay. Dr. Lion, the last thing you knew before this moment, you were having dinner with these fine people.
So Major, I just wanted to tell you, we got in some trouble, and so Jeannie and I started a praying, and boom, here we are. No, there's never anything. What do you mean the beef?
Major, the ship is gone.
Okay.
No.
I'm gonna try and extract myself from the situation where my betters are going nuts.
Perhaps you should
That's
have
a
a
good
dream,
idea.
Major.
Okay. Yeah, you sit down in the comfortable dry grass. It crunches a little bit reassuringly underneath you. Good solid earth.
I try to find a clearing to start a fire, small fire, or just clear some of the brush.
Okay. And as you look around for that, actually, you can see, even though you're amongst these, these trees, not far away, actually, you can see a clearing.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
So just what, like 20 yards
away?
away?
A wide open area of land. Yeah, about 20 yards away.
Hey, perhaps we could.
Like the very edge of the forest.
I'm going to see if I could start a fire over here in the clearing off yonder.
First, Minnie, how is that listen roll?
That was failed.
Okay. You don't hear the sea.
Can I understand, Captain? In your making that statement, is it implicit that I help you?
Potts, please grab some kindling for a fire.
Aye, sir.
Okay, so you take some small branches, some slightly larger branches, and the fire making kit from the boat, and head over. Do you take anything else with you, Captain, Mr. Potts?
Yeah, I'm gonna grab the rations. I'm gonna grab. I don't think there's any other there's weapons or nothing in these, but so I want the rations. Somebody was saying something about the flare gun.
Do they have any torches? Electric torches?
There are?
Okay.
Oh yeah, we'll get those.
Grab one of those too.
Okay.
Yeah. And
they're in a little tin with batteries on one side and the torch on the other side.
And then a little bit of cordage and that big the sail that we can use to make a shelter.
Okay. Yeah. Great. Yeah, do they have like tent poles or something, or not really? I guess we could fashion some.
I got these oars here.
Sail.
These oars will work great for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. So you haul a bunch of stuff over there and go to start a fire. So you put describe how you go about starting this fire.
Want to go to a place where there isn't dry brush nearby. Maybe dig a shallow pit.
Sure.
Put some kindling, maybe dry leaves or small twigs, and put some larger sticks over it.
Oddly, there are no dried leaves. In fact, there are no leaves anywhere on the ground, dried or otherwise.
These trees don't have leaves, or
they do.
Oh, but just no leaves on the ground.
No.
Are there twigs or sticks?
Yes, you guys made some on your way down.
Okay.
There's also
we made some. Okay.
A fair bit of boat parts there that'll
we'll use some of the fragments from the boat then.
Okay, you grab some of the bits of the boat.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, all right, and it's easy enough to use the oars, sort of as a makeshift shovel, and clear the grass away. Because it feels like dry grass. It's really hard to tell because the light here is this blue, this deep radiant blue.
Okay.
I mean, you see up in the sky what looks like as you come into the clearing, the moon.
So it's like twilight right now.
But it seems that the moon is either bigger than it used to be or much closer than it used to be. It is enormous in the sky.
Can we see any of the stars, by the way?
Not a one.
There's no stars at all. Okay.
Not a one.
Right, but
that's odd.
Just the deep blue of the night.
That's all very interesting there.
But I have a really high navigation roll, so I'm really distressed by this.
Okay. my leadership being distressed is not my favorite thing in the world. But I'm going to go ahead and use the cordage and make a shelter with the sail.
Yes,
Okay,
Mr.
so
Potter, please
you start working
continue.
on that, and Captain, you start you break out a trench lighter and start setting things on fire.
Okay.
You start getting a little fire going. While they're working on that, what's everyone else doing?
Oh, it's me leg. It's me leg. I really can't help.
Yeah. Private pilot comes over to you, Minnie, and holds out his like motions at his shoulder, which clearly is dislocated.
Oh dear.
He's like, this don't move so well.
Just have a seat and let me work on that.
I can't really straighten it.
Yeah. So like look over this way, and I just put a gentle hand and turn his head away.
Okay.
And then just as he's like, okay, I'm turning. If he turns his head, just as he does that, I'll try to yank his arm into the socket.
Okay. Make a first aid roll.
Alrighty. And why didn't the roll show up here? Let's try this again. Okay, an 89 out of 90.
Ooh, that was close.
Wow.
That is that's a loud, uncomfortable pop that comes from his shoulder.
I'm not going to mess with her.
And he lets out a scream that is normally followed by a flight of birds somewhere. But you don't even hear the scream echo. It just dies.
I'll be comforting afterwards. I'll pat him on wipe his brow and tell him, there, it's going to be okay. It'll get a lot better now.
His legs get kind of shaky, and he sort of staggers over and plops down next to Dr. Lyon.
Yeah, just have a seat and take a rest. We're definitely not in Canada anymore.
Yeah. Even in this blue light, he is white.
I reach over and offer him a soggy cigarette.
Okay, you offer him a soggy cigarette. Okay, he takes it with shaky hands. Takes a puff.
I think this is gonna take me out of the war, Doc.
Major, I'm concerned about the captain's wound and Taylor's wound, and so the reason for the fire is I think we ought to cauterize those. What do you think?
Oh wow.
Well, as sterile as they could be stowed into my pocket during all that. I don't know, maybe we look for a road and I'll take care of these guys while you're looking for the way to the hospital.
All right. at this point, Potts has put up a blanket in the middle of the shelter that he stretched over, so that there's a place for the ladies that they can stay, and there's a place for the gentlemen to stay. And it's close enough to the fire to get some warmth out of there, and Potts is feeling pretty confident about all that. He's going to look around for.
As he begins to look around, he sees. He sees.
No, he doesn't want to see nothing that you tell me.
I don't see it.
I want a big stick. That's what I want. I want a big stick.
Yeah. You see Jean walk past you.
Oh, hi, Jean. Yeah, all right.
And she is walking. She's walking toward. She's walking away from the woods, out across this open space. This meadow that you guys are in. And she walks 20, 30 yards away. And she seems to be listening to something or listening for something. She's got her ear bent.
Miss Jean?
She looks back over her shoulder.
Matt,
says,
I'm gonna
Captain?
What is it? What are you listening to?
I'm gonna do some listening to.
Okay, make a listen roll.
Couldn't even hear the ocean earlier.
Oh, it's a 93. I got rolled a 93.
I'll try the same.
It's clear not to be able to hear the sea.
I just missed it.
She says, I hear waves lapping on the shore.
Waves?
Oh.
Which direction?
This way, and she points in the direction she was walking. And she crests a little tiny hill, and then starts down it. And you see her take a few steps, and then she comes abruptly to stop. And she turns around and she says, "Captain?"
Miss Jean?
I'll go run it.
Yeah, I turn on a torch and I walk over there.
Okay. All right. You start heading there from your fire. You're actually not having much luck with your fire. The wood of the boat is very wet. You're having a really difficult time getting that to burn. The little bits of kindling haven't caught at all.
Strange.
So, Mr. Potts, I think I heard you say you go after her.
When she expresses with like that kind of excited tone, yeah, I'll go running after her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dr. Lyon, I heard you call out after her. Yes.
Too many bits.
You
too many
called
sips.
out to her as she was looking back and talking with the captain. Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. Okay. Terrific. Give us a natural world roll. Archie, what are you up to with with Private Pilot there? Who's most of the way through the crumpled cigarette you've given him?
Listen, do you have a gun? Do you have your gun with you? No? We're in trouble. I think we've landed behind enemy lines and no one wants to say.
Oh.
I think this is Germany.
How did we get to Germany?
I think it was some kind of water spout.
A water spout to Germany?
Yeah, right. Something like that. I don't know.
No sense.
Listen, you gotta be really careful.
No. We are near Ireland. So if we're anywhere, we're in Ireland.
Okay,
I
that's nice.
expected
What
it
if we're
to be
not?
more green than this, but Ireland.
Okay, let's say we're in Ireland. I think the major's
Yes,
having an
let's
episode.
say we're in Ireland.
I think the major is having an episode. We need to watch out for him. He's a good one, but he's not all there. We've got to be very careful about the orders that he gives us because he might get us killed. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Dr. Lyon, you're having a difficult time figuring out what this grass is, because when you kind of roll it to get it to, to kind of break up so that you can, smell it and do all that sort of thing. And instead of breaking up the way dry grass does, it kind of rolls up into a little ball in your hand. Yeah, kind of like clay. None whatsoever. It's not really very much. When you actually kind of pull at it, it just sort of falls over, and you are able to pick up a bunch of it and roll it into this little ball.
Look,
Yeah.
he's losing it. He's losing it.
Okay.
Is there an opposite of lizard?
Nurse Minnie, what are you up to while these strange going-ons are happening around you?
I was really hoping for the fire. So if that's been abandoned, I'm gonna keep trying to work on that.
Okay. All right. So you go over there. The captain has left the trench lighter there. There's a little bit of wood smoldering, but not very much.
Okay, well, basically I'm keeping an eye on the injured people, but I think this is important. So, I don't have much in the way of natural world stuff, but I'll give it a shot. I understand the concepts.
Sure.
So I'm going to try to get the fire going.
Yeah, I mean the lighter lights, right? Mm-hmm. And you take a twig and hold it over the mm-hmm. flame, and it promptly melts like wax and falls to the ground. Each twig you hold up does the same thing.
That's pretty vexing. So I'll complain loudly to the injured people that I can't make a fire to torture them with cauterizing their wounds, and speculate about infections they might get.
Okay. You are able to determine that the little bit that was burning mm-hmm. Are pieces of the boat, but they're wet, so they don't burn very well.
Sure. So I'll go and try and retrieve some pieces of the boat that are either as dry as possible, or I'll set them out to dry near where everyone's resting.
Okay.
We're gonna get cold out here. We're gonna get cold. That's the only thing we've got to worry about tonight is warming up. Staying dry.
Yeah, it's nice and temperate out. The temperature here is fine, but though it looks like it should be chilly outside, but it's nice. Again, there's a light breeze, warm temperatures.
We're probably going to need water first. There was some in the boat, but
is there water?
Sure.
Or was there water?
Water is part of the standard survival stuff. So there would be. No one's gone to pick it up. So Captain and Mr. Potts, you guys go over to where Jean is.
That's affirmative. Yeah.
Captain.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes,
You're going over to where Jean is.
Yes. I was heading toward Jean with a flashlight.
Watch that wound, Captain.
So the two of you crest this little hill And as you do, and you're shining the flashlight out in front of you, you see that the meadow stretches out another 10 or 12 yards in front of her, and then drops off immediately off of a cliff.
Okay.
And far in the distance, you can see sparkling ocean water.
Sparkling because there's light shimmering from this moon in the sky?
Yeah, the moon reflects off of the water.
Is Jeannie okay?
She's like, there's a cliff here.
I gently guide her back away from the cliff so she doesn't go over.
Okay. Well, she's about, like I said, she's about 12 yards from it, but she seems hesitant, reluctant to get closer to the edge of the cliff.
Yeah, understandably so. And again, we don't see any signs of stars at all. Are there clouds?
Not at all. No clouds.
Any signs of the other boats out there?
You don't see any boats on the water.
All right. Well, I'm still remembering the 50 cal going off, so I think I'm gonna try and get Jeannie to go back to camp here, and maybe wait for some search parties to come out, and just keep quiet till then.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea, Mr. Potts. Very good idea. We'll get that fire started.
Easier to find our way around in the daylight.
Yeah, daylight. Right. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go ahead and head back to camp and get everybody, all the people closer to camp, and then I'm gonna start passing out food rations, and maybe humming a sea shanty or some old Indian song or something. Just anything to keep spirits up and not focus on the fact that there are no stars or any of that other weird. The fact that we rode a spout to land in a forest somewhere 40 miles in a matter of seconds. Nope, none of that stuff. Yep. Just gonna sing a little song and pass out some food.
Perfectly dry here, by the way.
Oh yeah, just like Ireland.
Yeah.
So
just like Ireland.
So Matt. Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. I want to from camp. I want to get a mark of where the moon is and see if it moves over time.
Hey, you guys want to have a bite here? Here's some food.
You've been moving around quite a bit. Hard to tell.
But just like from like where the fire is, maybe standing in a certain place and measure it against like some branches.
So you're gonna mark it so you can measure it in the future.
Yes.
Okay.
So if it moves significantly, that's a good point.
Okay. All right.
Get a fire going. Be able to have a spot of tea.
Yeah.
All right.
Dr. Lyon, let's do a little reality check with you. That is a sanity roll.
Here we go. Reality check.
Yeah. Yes. So here's the here's the up and down of the reality check. So if you make the sanity roll, reality is going to start creeping back in, and what you've forgotten is going to bubble back up slowly over time. If you fail, what you're experiencing is going to increase and it's going to become more extreme. Got it. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Nurse Minnie, you're able with the assistance of private pilot who comes over with a pocket knife and begins shaving off bits of wood that were underneath the covered section of the boat. So that they're cross beams, and he starts shaving them off to make kindling. And when he when he gets some of them pretty thin, he kind of kicks one of them to snap off a chunk of it so that he's got some bigger pieces to burn. And he's like, maybe start with these.
All right, I'll give it another shot.
And then he goes back to making more.
Okay, I'll try to get
whittling
the
down
going,
the dry section of the boat.
And be very gentle with it and try to get a little fire started.
Okay. Using that, you're there's can do that.
Okay, I give that up as much credence as most of everything else the major has said recently.
Okay. So this time you hold some of the shavings over the flame, and they catch, and you're able to tuck them in with some other shavings and get a little tiny fire going, and then put some of the sticks on top of there, and in a few minutes you have a little bit of a fire going.
Okay. I will put a pot on, and I will ask Pilot for his knife for a bit.
Sure.
Okay. I put it in the fire to heat.
Okay. Good. All right. While they're building the fire, what are the rest of you doing? Is everyone coming over for a bite to eat and a spot of tea?
Absolutely.
Yep.
I'm definitely going to be trying to get some food in bellies and kind of focus on trying to improve the mood and change the subject. I might even try a little bit to distract the officers from their forays into discovering the unknown.
Well done, Potts.
Yeah, about that.
Yeah. And Dr. Lyon, your hands hurt for some reason. Yeah, there's what looks like rope burns in the palms.
Hey there. Oh, hey there, Matt. Have I ever seen anything like this? Has there been people gone crazy tunes like this?
No. No.
No. All right. Hey, Major. Let me see if I can help you jog your memory there. So you maybe you got hit on the head or something. But fact is, our boat went down. Oh yeah. All right. Here. Would you like another biscuit? Oh, sure.
You were torpedoed.
Oh, lovely.
No, really, we were torpedoed or something. The ship exploded. Doc. How long have you known me? Yes. The ship is sunk. It's gone. I don't think this is France. I think it's Germany.
And Private Pilot says, "No, it's Ireland. Ireland. We're just off the coast of Ireland. It's got to be Ireland."
More teapots. Are there any biscuits? Oh.
Let's just rest for a bit and warm ourselves with a fire.
Private Pilot gets up sort of in a huff, and he's like, it's Ireland, I tell you, Ireland, and he storms off.
Oh, I'm gonna go ahead and go after him. I don't feel too bad about grabbing a private. I'll say, hey there, Mister. Why don't you stick around here? And maybe you can help me.
He goes to shove at you.
Oh boy! All right. Okay.
I'm gonna get up off my knee.
Yeah, make a dodge roll.
Sure.
Like he tries a stiff arm, like square to your chest.
All right. The dodge is gonna be a success. I'm gonna add. Whoa! All right. Hey.
He's like, this is Ireland. I'm gonna prove it.
No, all right. Okay. I'm gonna let you do that. You go right ahead.
Pilot, what are you doing?
This is Captain. This is Ireland. I'll show you. We were just south.
Why don't we wait until the sun comes up and then we can have a better determination of our bearings?
Since we were due south of Fastnet Rock.
Yes.
No doubt. I can see it from the cliffside there.
You're going to hurt yourself walking around in the dark, and you don't know who's out there.
The nurse said I could see, and he keeps walking, and he's just shouting at you now from
Pilot. Get back here.
Crests the hill.
I'm getting up.
Hilltop.
I'm certainly not injured. I'm not injured as much as I think. It's a miracle, and I chase after him.
Okay. All right. You go limping after him.
Thank you. I look after the people who chased off. I turn back to the major, and then I just turn straight to Millie and say, or Minnie, hey, nurse, do you have any idea what's wrong with these fellas?
Well, sometimes traumatic events can, mess with a person's mind. But, myself, I'm just trying not to really think about it too much and just focus on these folks with their wounds. Major.
I think anyone has cowardice here.
Would you gift me with a drink from your flask? So I'll take a big sip and make the alcohol face and hand the flask back to you. And I say, it is Major. We're talking about you. Because the ship was just sunk. I don't make these kinds of things up. I love the ship. The ship was my home. It was my life, and it's gone. And I burned my hands just like you did trying to get the lifeboat off. Lead the way, Major.
At which point, from the other side of the meadow, you hear Private Pilot yell out, "The ship! The ship! I found the ship!"
Wait up!
Pause.
Wait up, Pilot! Wait up!
Please come with me.
And you can see and
because
he's over the rise, you can only see him like from here up, and he's like jumping up and down. And you sort of see his head bobbing and arms bobbing up and down from the other side of the little hill.
Yeah, head over there with a torch.
Yeah.
Potts, if you would be so kind.
Aye, sir.
You just stay put, Archie. We'll be right back.
I'm already gone. I'm already up, and I'm trying to chase after.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a miracle. I can walk, and I'm trying to find Pilot.
Okay, and Jean heads over there as well. Minnie, she gives you a look. You don't often see her look frightened. She looks frightened.
I will hold her hand.
Okay. All right. Yeah. She grips your hand tightly, and takes a deep breath and kind of nods, and sort of sets her gaze straight forward.
I'll do the same.
All right. And you creep up to where Private Pilot is standing near the edge of the cliff, and you're able to see when you get close to the cliff, and you're able to peer down. You hear ever so softly the sound of small waves lapping up a little tiny beach, and you look down at least 200 feet. And when Jean looks over the side, she gasps and takes 2 giant steps back, but does not let go of your hand, Minnie. So she doesn't jerk back, but she takes 2 giant steps back.
What do we see?
And you see her trying to not hyperventilate. So you see a couple of things. One, you see resting on the beach, the front quarter of the Llandovery castle. It's broken. You don't see the rest of the ship anywhere. You don't see, what you would expect had it run aground, that there would be bits and pieces of it floating about. In fact, you see calm, lightly rippling seas. So that's there, and it's sort of listed over on its side on the beach below. And below there's this little spit of beach that runs along this bit of along the cliff edge, and there's and you can see in the sand groups of footprints. And as everybody's gaze sort of travels at the same time, following the footprints up along the beach, you see that there is jungle that comes down along the cliff, 400, maybe 500 yards away down the cliff. So off to your left, there's the cliff meets jungle that comes to the edge of the ocean.
Now, you said jungle twice there, but you meant forest, though, right?
I did not misspeak. There's a tangle of jungle there, and you can see very vaguely a few people moving into the jungle. Behind them, 20 yards or so, is it's somebody limping along after them. And that person looks to be wearing a uniform, a ship's uniform.
Oh, no. Where did I shoot Chapman?
What do you do? Where did you shoot him?
Yeah.
In the side, in the ribs.
Okay.
Wow, I don't think we're gonna sail off yet.
Good Lord.
Doc, come up and take a good look at the ship. Yes.
I
Doc,
fall
come
to my
a look.
knees and cry at the sight of my ship so torn asunder.
I put my hand on Minnie's shoulder to comfort her.
Don't be so sad. That ship is easy to spot. Easier to spot than we are. If someone comes looking for us.
Jean kneels down next to you as well, Minnie. And she's just shaking her head.
Can I roll psychology to try and reach the major and just tell him, we weren't lying. It all really happened.
Yes, in
Yeah?
in a moment.
Okay.
Okay. So, Captain, I know what you're doing. Mr. Potts, Private
So,
Taylor,
like, you
and
don't really
Dr.
mean
Lyon, what are you doing?
like a bog, right? Like like a really thick bog. Not
Like-
so much
Like African jungle.
like Kipling kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And no sand check there. All right. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and hold tight. Oh yeah, yeah.
Broken. Yes.
No, just a quarter of it's there.
Oh yeah,
just the-
75% of it is missing entirely.
Oh,
Okay.
gotcha. All right.
Sure.
Yeah. Mm.
All right.
But Major, what about those folks there?
Private Taylor, what are you up to?
I would like to. I'm starting to walk towards the people, the group of people leaving the ship. If I can find a way to get to them, I'm
Okay.
calling out, "Hello, hello."
Okay. So you're looking down toward them with the intention of following after them, which you think, okay, if I follow the cliff, right, it eventually intersects with that bit of jungle there, and I should just be able to sort of be very close to where they entered the jungle and probably follow them.
Is he going over the cliff?
Yeah, all of you watch Dr. Lyon go to climb down, and you realize, like, this is a sheer cliff. There's no way he's
grab
gonna climb
him.
down this thing.
I grab him.
Hold that thought one moment. Well, yeah, that's happening in slow motion in the background.
Okay.
Meanwhile, for Private Taylor, something else happens in slow motion. As you look down at this person limping along and just reaching the edge of the jungle, he turns and looks back at you, and somehow the space between the two of you compresses, and it's as if he is standing not less than 20 feet away from you, and you recognize a member of the crew, storekeeper James Richardson.
Okay.
And you can see that he's bloody and battered, and he sees you as well, and he beckons you, and then you see him mouth the words, "Please help me. Please help me."
I'll wait back. Be over there in a bit. I yell in effect.
And then he disappears into the jungle.
They look injured. We should try and go help them.
All right, Nurse Minnie, let's have a psychology roll from you.
Oh, okay.
As you're trying to convince Dr. Lyon about the reality of this situation,
Yes. Okay, here we go. 15 out of 70.
Wow. Okay.
Almost
so-
an extreme.
Okay. All right. So let's have another reality check for Dr. Lyon with a bonus die. Doesn't seem to be her style.
Good.
Okay. All right. Yeah. You realize at the last second that you're about to step off of this sheer cliff. And that's when the captain reaches you and yanks you back away from the cliffside.
Major, what are you doing?
Oh.
Easy, Major. Easy.
Don't die, my
And
super
then
soul.
and then we see a reverse angled shot of this, as if out from the sea, close upon the people on the cliff edge. Some of them looking off in the direction of the jungle. Others bringing Dr. Lion back to safety, away from the edge of the cliff, where Jean still crouches on her knees. Fearful of approaching the cliff, and we pull back further and further and further to see them silhouetted against this silvery, very large moon in this unnaturally blue sky, and the branches intertwined above a shattered lifeboat. And let's call it a night right there.
There we go.
Ooh.
That's great.
Nice.
That's a wrap.
Thanks, everybody.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Yes, I look forward to seeing everyone tomorrow night.
Thank you.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
Scene.
Had a great time. See you guys tomorrow.
Oh, Canada.
Ta-da.